Gay marriage always leads, sooner rather than later, to full frontal attacks on the normal family. This is no longer a question of ifs and buts, nor is it merely an intellectual debate between conservative intellectuals and liberals. It's really a basic fact of life proven consistently across national borders by the actions and policies of the LGBTist religion. Let's explore. Hello everyone and welcome to the Freedom Alternative. It's great to be back at work after the break caused by my trip to Bucharest, which went better than I expected. I got to meet some of you guys and enjoy a decent enough metal festival. Winning! Alright, now let's get back to our business. So, the tinier corner of the English language internet, that would be the Canadian internet, has been a bit more active in the last few days as a Canadian province led by a man-hating lesbian feminist, that would be Ontario of course, is getting ready to abolish the words father and mother not just from official documents, but from as many laws as possible. The Liberal lawmakers have identified 17 places in various laws where the word mother should be stripped away and 23 places where the word father should be stripped from. The proposed Bill 28 that is being rammed through the legislature by the Liberal Party is the most radical version of this nonsense that I have seen since I started my long-term study of this phenomenon, a study which I hope it will end in a book or something. I don't know. Anyway, you can read the bill for yourselves. I left a link in the low bar, but let me read you at least this passage from it. Quote, "Complementary amendments to other acts. The bill amends various other acts in order to reflect the new rules of parentage. This includes the following amendments. 1. Amendments to remove references to persons being related by blood. 2. Amendments to remove references to person being the natural parents of a child. 3. Amendments to the French versions of acts to use membre de la famille instead of parent as a translation of the English term relative. Amendments to the French version of acts to amend the translation of birth parent as opposed to adoptive parent so that the French term refers instead to a parent de naissance rather than de sang." The whole piece is rife with these kinds of gems. For instance, the phrase other parent is to also be stricken out. In the French language version, the phrase autre parent is to be replaced with un autre membre de sa famille qui est. So that means anyone, another member of the family. Who cares about blood relation? And the list of newspeak dictates goes on and on and on. Now, the pro-family groups in Ontario have started organizing to oppose the bill, but I'm very skeptical of their chances since the Liberals have a comfortable majority in the legislature and the dyke that is the Prime Minister, Kathleen Wynne, or Winnie, I don't exactly care how her name is pronounced. Anyway, the point is that they should have organized before the elections and prevent this dyke's rise to power. But in any event, I do hope that the groups representing normal people do prevail, but again, I'm highly skeptical. This is Canada after all, and it is the current year. The point I am trying to make with this video is that Ontario is quite late to the party. This kind of nonsense has already been implemented in some of the countries of the former Western Bloc in Europe. In Britain, the stupidity of Parent 1 and Parent 2 has been around since at least 2011, a change implemented by the allegedly conservative Cameron cabinet following pressure from the LGBTist fundamentalist group Stonewall. First with the passports, then slowly trickled down into more and more local bureaucracies, incremental subversion, in other words. In France, this has been the case since at least 2013, and it came in the same package with the gay marriage deal championed by the socialist administration of François Hollande. In Italy, words like mama and papa have been stripped from school and kindergarten admission forms since 2013 and are slowly being taken away from any legal mentioning and replaced with genitore uno and genitore due, ordered alphabetically. The idea that allowing gay marriage would not affect normal families is outright ludicrous at this point in time, with recent history showing conclusively that it absolutely does, and quite in a fundamental way. I mean, what is more fundamental than institutionalizing the absolute denial of normal people's identities as natural fathers and natural mothers? And all of these were possible solely because gay marriage was allowed to pass. The pattern is virtually identical in all of these countries. I mean, even the names of the laws are almost identical, or at the very least, very similar. In Ontario, it's the All Families Are Equal Act, and in France is the Law of Marriage and Adoption for All. Now, you can call me a bigot as much as you want, but please do tell me, what stops the activists now from lobbying to allow polygamy or polyandry? In fact, the progressive case for polygamy is very solid at this point, especially in very cucked countries. The progressives can lobby for it on the grounds of cultural sensitivity for the members of the religion of special needs, or they can lobby for it on grounds that, well, all families are equal, so therefore it is oppressive to limit it to only 2 members. I mean, what's the harm in adding parent 3 or genitore 3 in there? The progressives will ask. And if you think this will not happen, you're only deluding yourself. Whenever I make this kind of case, I'm being told that I'm committing the slippery slope fallacy. But the appeals to the dictionary definition of the slippery slope fallacy won't help you much either. That argument had its merit when the discussion was purely theoretical and perhaps theological. But we're no longer at that point anymore, thanks to progressives and other similar scum. The appeal to the slippery slope fallacy only works when presented argument requires leaps of faith that are unreasonable. But in this case, it is no longer unreasonable to think that the LGBTist religion will push for these things. I mean, if it worked in at least 3 countries, what's going to stop them from trying again in countries and jurisdictions with similar laws and customs? I mean, I know I would try it if I were a progressive, since you don't change the winning strategy. Now, if I were to live under this law, I would prefer it to be in a jurisdiction that is also sensitive to other progressive pet projects, such as the Respect My Pronouns movement. And if I were to live there, I would troll the bureaucracies daily. Though my preferred title would be Father Attack Helicopter, and my pronoun His Majesty. Then, if they refuse, I would sue them for discrimination. And I'm not joking. These kinds of measures must be attacked on all fronts. They must be attacked intellectually, on the grassroots via agitprop, and also be trolled into oblivion. All 3 of them, if possible. Until we learn to attack first and not just wait till the next leftist degeneracy is cast upon the rest of us, we will continue to be on the receiving end of leftist aggression against everything normal. Against our languages, against our families, against our children, against our nations, against our race and skin color, against our wealth, and generally against everything needed for a normal, functioning society. Because make no mistake, these kinds of shenanigans will come to a place near you. Because LGBTism is just another fundamentalist religion, slightly different from Islam, especially in terms of means of achievement, because, well, the LGBTists are a lot more experienced in subverting liberal democracies than Muslims, though the Muslims are catching up fast, but nonetheless equally supremacist. I made a video over a year ago, in June 2015, about the LGBTist religion. I do suggest watching that one if you haven't done so already. The point is that this is not a fight between straight people and non-straight people. It's a fight between normal people and hardline ideologues. Because most LGBTists aren't actually non-straight. Their endgame has nothing to do with gay rights or whatever nonsense is fashionable today. If that had been the case, gays would have flocked to them, yet that is not happening. In France, for instance, there is an even split between conservative non-straights and leftist non-straights, and the numbers are from 2013, before the gay marriage thingy. Today, there are more anti-leftist non-straights than leftist non-straights, partly due to the fact that gay people aren't stupid and they do realize that the rise of Islam in France is an actual honest-to-God problem for them and their lifestyle, whilst the absence or opposition to gay marriage is an item of whining at best. So yeah. Bottom line, expect a lot more of this kind of garbage, and if you can, proactively attack them. Don't just wait them to get traction. Don't ignore them by patting yourself on the back that they're marginal. That's what the French did, and now they can't legally be mothers and fathers. Just saying. Anyway, with all of that being said, thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon on Freedom Alternative.